welcome to Fatmata Speaks. Welcome to the mid-monthly messages. So this is the mid-monthly message of June. We're getting close to the 15th of June and the month is flowing like really fast. I hope you guys are all feeling secure in your movement, because one of the key messages that the mid-monthly meditation gave me was, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever decision you have made, whatever path you have chosen, know that you're not walking it alone, because the divine is with you on this path. You're not doing this life alone anymore. You have connected with your higher self. You have connected with your ancestors. You have established a strong connection with the divine. You're no longer trying to control everything, because you know that, yes, there's certain bits that you are in control of, but the whole thing is not yours to control. You have learned to trust your intuition. You have learned to trust the timing of things. You have learned to trust the flow of things. And you've learned to pivot. You've learned to adapt. And you've learned to believe. And that has fundamentally changed the way you do things, the way you approach life, and the way you experience life. So the very first image that I saw was, there was a part. So basically there was a body of water flowing between two lands, and all of a sudden another part came on top of it, like it covered it on top. And then suddenly there were like half circle fences that was connected from one land to the other, and the whole flow of water was like protected. Okay. And then a figure came out. They were kind of like silver, and they were surfing again. I don't know if you guys watched the monthly message, but we also had the element of surfing in that. And surfing is all about, not only youthful energy, but like the mindset of not trying to control, but rather ride the flow of things. Okay. Sorry. Anyway, the figure was like riding, surfing on their silver board. Like the silver is very important. Okay. Intuition, reflection, it's all there. And they were just surfing down this protected path, and they went all the way, and they reached a waterfall. And in that moment, I saw two images that were kind of like overlapping. So one was like of just regular people reaching that waterfall and then taking a leap of faith, and they splashed into the water. They splashed into the water, and then they were kind of like struggling a little bit. But this figure on the silver board, they dived down, but they didn't splash into the water. They landed on top of the water, and then they surfed out. So you see, because of who you have become and who you're operating at and as, and who you're embodying, your belief systems that have changed, your trust that has strengthened, and your intuition that has heightened, you just things don't land the same to you as they land with others. Okay, where others may fail or succumb to their fears and doubt, you just walk past those stages, because you know that everything is part of a big divine picture that you do not know, but you know that it's for your best. It's all happening for your best. So you're not even worried. So because of that, you're not being pulled down by fears. You're not being pulled down by doubt. Instead, you're softening out. You're going out there, doing what you can, doing what the guidance is telling you to do, and it's working. Even when the result is not always comfortable, it's still working. Okay. And in that moment, when this figure on the silver surfing board moved out and surfed out, they stopped halfway. They stopped, and then they looked back. And in that particular moment, they reminded me of the Silver Surfer from Fantastic Four. I don't know why exactly. Well, I don't know if you guys have seen Fantastic Four, but the Silver Surfer in Fantastic Four they were powerful. They were they were they were operating according to, of course, the big guy, the bad guy, will and all. But they were powerful, and they were flexible, and they were able to reflect. Or am I thinking about the remake? They were able to reflect about their actions, and they were able to change and pivot. Now, that is a very important quality. Most of us, we just take on a path and then we stick to that. Even when all the signs are telling us that pivot, we don't. But you do not act like that anymore. You have changed. When the sign says pivot, you pivot. When the sign says stop, you stop. When the sign says go, you go. You have learned to listen. There's an element of like you trusting blindly, blind faith. Faith already means that you have to trust completely, but like blind faith, like it goes beyond that. And that's what you embody in. So you're able to stop, reflect, and you're able to pivot. And that's exactly what this surfer did. They pivot. Now they're already surfed out, right? They turn around and then they took an unusual path. One that many would refuse to go on. One that none of the other figures that I saw took. They surfed right into the wall of the waterfall. Right into the wall of the waterfall. And they didn't clash against the waterfall wall. No, they went into it. And in that wall, you expect the space, to be closed. Like, there's no free space to move. But there was. And they were flowing, they were just surfing as if there was still water there. But there was like no visible movement of water in that wall. But the space has been altered because there was like two massive walls, and they have been altered enough to like house a white circle-like, cube-like house. And this white house, they were sort of like glowing. So basically, you are taking on a path that no one has took before. Maybe no one in your family or no one in your environment. But if you look at it in a larger picture, there are a few people who are also taking on that path. But you're taking on this path that no one in your surrounding has done before. And you're not afraid. Even if fear is there, it's not loud enough for you to turn around and go back. No, you are actually going towards it. You are being confident and you are trusting. And even in those on those unusual paths, when of course it's dark inside a wall, you still find light. You still find light to help you navigate, to help point out the path that you are actually taking. And yes, these lights are helping you, but you're not letting yourself be distracted by it. Instead, you're staying on course. You stay focused. You stay focused, you remain focused, and you keep riding out. And the the surfer on the silverboard came out. They came out of the wall, and they came out into the light. So like, if you are going through a dark period of time because you took an unusual path and you do not know where left or right is, of course you can see your next step, but you do not know how this is going to end. Because of your trust, you are going to make it out of there. And this period of darkness, know that it's just a short period. It's just a phase. It's not going to last forever. You're not going to be stuck in that space. No. As long as you keep embodying your truth, you keep trusting, you are coming out of that space, and you're coming out of it fast. So the duration that you will spend in that space depends on how much you're willing to trust, how much you're willing to just follow the flow that you find yourself on, and how much you're willing to not be distracted by any, distractions that comes up, okay? You're coming out of that space. You're coming out into the light. Now, once you're out of that space, you're going to change the way you approach things again. So basically, the figure came off their surfing board and they just wade through the water. They wade through the water and they got to the other side and they arrived at the field, and the grass where it's summer. It's definitely felt like summer, but the grass were not green. They were sort of a little bit yellowish, or maybe it's just the type of grass. So I'm interpreting this as this whole period. Yes, it's gonna, start in June, mid-June. Sorry. It's gonna start mid-June, but the whole duration of this is gonna last the whole summer. And by the end of the summer, you will be arriving in a place of wholeness. You'll be arriving home. Now, the surfer came off their board and then they were literally running on this grass. So maybe you gaining momentum, because once you're out of the thick of it, it just goes fast. Things move very fast. So it's not like you're riding the flow. You determine the flow. That's why they got off their surfing board. On their surfing board, they were trusting the flow of things and then riding it. But after surviving, experiencing that period of, of being on that unusual path, and you have put the right things in the right place, the momentum, you've created momentum, and it's going to move fast. It's going to happen fast. So expect things to move fast at a certain period of time. So I believe this, yes, it's mid-June, but until the end of summer, expect that to, at one point in time, things are going to be moving very fast in your favor, of course. And the figure, they ran across the field, and then they arrive at the foot of a mountain. And they climb that mountain, okay, with their surfing board in their hand. So you have all the equipment, you have options you have options on how you go about things. And they climb up this mountain. They reach the very top, and on there they just stood there, taking everything in. Remember to enjoy your rewards, people. It's very important to enjoy your rewards, okay? You achieve a win, celebrate it. Don't just be like, okay, now I need the next thing. No, the next thing is gonna come anyway. But you are in the now right now. And the next thing is in another now that is in the future. So for now, just focus on this now that you're in, that you have won something, and celebrate that win. Celebrate it. Be loud. Be obnoxious if that you have to be, okay? But celebrate your wins, because you know how much effort it cost you to get to that position. Anyway, the figure arrived at the top of the mountain. They took in everything. And then, again, an elephant appeared with a masculine ancestor figure. This was also the same image that appeared in I believe that was the monthly reading. And in the monthly reading, it appeared on a makeshift island that was that could accommodate all of the person's needs. And in this vision, the vision of now, the mid-monthly vision, the person saw the elephant and the ancestors on top of this mountain, and again they were being hugged. That also happened in the monthly reading. They were being hugged, and then I heard the words, "I am home." So you're arriving at a spot that is home. Now, home for some people is a person. Home for some people is family. Home is a place. But this journey that you're going to go on, and this momentum that you're creating, these wins that you're getting, you're going to arrive at a place that feels like home. And I believe that this place is going to be for the lack of better words, it's going to be your new comfort zone because you're completely shifting. And I said lack of better words because comfort zone is not always great. Okay, sometimes we need to step out of it, but you're arriving at a new comfort zone where you have everything. Your needs are met. You have accomplished a dream. You have no burden, no financial burden, no financial restraints. You have met your soul tribe, maybe lover, partnership, and you have maybe your business running, or your career is finally going in the direction that you actually desire. Or for some of you, you might be forming a family. So it's like home is in context of this message, I'm going to interpret home as the space that just, in which you feel comfortable, in which you feel whole, in which there is nothing concerning you anymore. You're not worried about things anymore. So this journey is long. The summer is long, but this summer might be one of the best summers you have ever heard. Or maybe the best summer that you have ever heard. Okay? Yeah, I think it's gonna be the best summer that you've ever heard so far in your life. And it comes from you having done the work, from you shifting your perspective, from you establishing connection with yourself, your ancestors, the divine, and from you trusting that things are working out for you, trusting that everything is working for you. And because you have experienced that shift in mind, body, and soul, your new norm is also going to be different. And that comes along in the summer, obviously, but it starts now. You have already started it, actually, but it continues, it continues. So whatever you're doing right now, keep pushing, keep doing it. I know sometimes we do not see immediate result and we want to give it up. And sometimes the result we're seeing is not the one that, will send us to heaven. It's not the one that will motivate us. But whatever result you're receiving right now, use that as a motivator. Find an angle that allows you to use it as a motivator. If, for example, if for example, why am I saying so many examples? Anyway, for example, you started a new job, right? And you started this new job with the intention that it's going to pay off your bills. It's going to allow you to breathe, to rest without you, having to work too hard. And the truth of it is, yes, you don't have to work too hard. Maybe you don't have to work every single day, and it pays your bills, but it doesn't give you the relaxation that you were expecting from it. Now, that of course is not going to motivate you. But if you zoom out and look at the whole situation, you will see that yes, it covers your bill. So you have it covered. You have a job, so if you have to, apply for things, you know that, okay, there's a bit of security there so that people can give you whatever you need, loan, grant, whatever you need, right? And you have time, because if you do not have to work every single day, I'm meaning like more than like in the weaker days, you only maybe have to work like 3 times or maximum 4 times. So you have more time in the week. In your free time, you can create a new plan that will provide you with, paying off your bills, but also giving you the relaxation and also the freedom to do what you actually want to do. You can either start a side hustle, or you can learn something that when you want to apply for a new job later, or maybe you can eye a particular job right now, and then you build your skills, you build the foundation so that you have a solid foundation to move to build on, you know. So you have time. Yes, this current job that pays your bill, so you have less stress regarding like, oh my god, how am I supposed to pay my bills? And you have time. So it's not the ideal situation to be because you want freedom, but it's the ideal situation to be in order to create that freedom that you want. You guys get what I mean? I hope you get what I mean. Anyway, try to find the right perspective, the right interpretation that allows you to see this current situation you're in as a motivator, so that you can create that which you actually want in this period, this summertime, so that when summer ends, you're really in the place that you want to be in. That also means you have to, you know, this word, I think it has a negative meaning to it, but you have to endure. Whatever situation you're in right now, you have to endure it and then build while enduring. Okay? It doesn't sound nice. It sounds a little bit like struggling and surviving, but sometimes you need to do the hard work to get to that next position. I don't mean you have to exhaust yourself or anything like that, but you just have to set the foundation, and setting the foundation requires commitment, and this commitment is for some people hard work, but you're committing to yourself, to your happiness, to your dreams, so it's all going to benefit you. So do not see that as hard work, see that as you just investing in yourself. You get what I mean? Because that's what you're doing. You're investing in yourself to get you to where you actually want to be. And that's what the key message of this month is, literally that. Invest in yourself so that you can get yourself to where you want to be, because you've already invested in yourself emotionally. Now you just have to set the things in the 3D so that it can finally reflect what you are on the inside. So don't give up. Don't give up. Keep pushing. Keep believing. Do not let go of your belief. Do not doubt your intuition. And keep trusting and have faith in the divine, because the divine, your ancestors, your guides, they're all working with you. Now, for some of you, because the message continued, for some of you, from reaching home, you know, how do I explain this? Okay, I think I'm gonna tell you guys about the image first, and then I will try to explain it properly. So the image that came after this person have hugged their masculine ancestors and said, and had the words, "I'm home," I saw a vase, and the vase was pouring into the flow of water. And what is that? I don't want to mix it again. Yes, the vase was being poured out, and the water was flowing. Well, the liquid was flowing into the water, and then out of that water came a masculine and a feminine figure. And this masculine and feminine figure, they also work the same part as this figure on the silver surfing board, but not all of it. They ran across the field that looked sort of golden yellowish. The grass were golden or yellowish, and they reached the foot of the mountain, and then they climb up the mountain together. They were helping each other together, and then they reached the top of the mountain, and there was the elephant again with the masculine ancestors, and the masculine ancestor, they hugged each other again. So basically it's the same thing, but this time around it seems like some of you, either as a result of this, or maybe it's like it's a different set of individuals, you are going through this last bit of this message in a partnership. You walk in this last bit with someone who is going in the same direction as you are, someone who is determined, someone who is someone who compliments you. And it was the same in the June monthly reading, because once that masculine figure got on that island, that makeshift island, a feminine figure appeared again. And the same is being reflected here. Yeah, this is all like what June is promising you. And it's using the mid-monthly message to just, send that, to hammer that message home that, yes, some of you are not going to you're not going to walk the rest of this path alone. You're going to walk this in partnership. You're going to walk this path with someone. And you're going to find home. And at the end of the day, even if you're walking it alone, or if you're working this in partnership, at the end of the day, you're going to find yourself in a completely new situation. And you're going to operate more from your feminine side, which means you're going to be creating a lot. Your masculine is right beside you. Nevertheless, your masculine is right beside you, helping, taking over when it's needed. So you're employing your masculine and feminine energy when it's actually needed. This also was sort of like in the last weekly message, yeah. So yeah, you're employing the right energy, creating, and that is allowing light, abundance to flow into your life, and you being able to spot entry point for abundance to come in. So this is like continuous. It doesn't end at the end of the summer. At the end of summer, you find yourself in that space of like, yes, I'm home. You create, but from then on, it's gonna be more creation, more abundance coming into your life, and you being in balance, you being in harmony. And like I said, some of you guys are not going to be alone anymore. So for all the singles out there, enjoy your single life, because you're not going to be single much longer, okay? And for all those who are already in a partnership, expect like certain improvements to be like done, to be happening to you, because your relationship is changing. The base of it is changing. It's gonna be more healthy, more harmonious, and it's forward movement, people. It's forward movement. So the mid-monthly message is telling you that this life is yours, and you have changed. And because you have changed, everything around you is also changing. Some are gonna need a little bit of time to catch up with you, but it's gonna catch up with your change. So be super proud of all the hard work you have been doing. Be super proud of all the challenges you went through and came out of. It didn't kill you. It made you stronger. Literally, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And that's literally what's happening to you. But it didn't only make you stronger, it also made you soft. Because for some, stronger means like, they lost faith. They sort of like gave up on certain things. No, you that doesn't happen to you. You're stronger because you believe. You're stronger because you know that things are happening for you. You're stronger because you know that you're a co-creator with the divine. You're stronger because you know that things come through you. And you're stronger because you know that things are not happening to you. You know that you're not a victim. You know that you're a creator. And you're co-creating your life with the divine. So keep in that spirit. Whatever comes your way, keep in that spirit. Remember to pivot when it's needed. Take on unusual paths. It's okay. Just because you're uncomfortable doesn't mean that you're in the wrong spot. That doesn't always mean that you're in the wrong spot. Sometimes it's literally that. But if you want to know, just ask yourself, ask your intuition, and listen to it. But know that everything is working out for you. And this summer is gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. I'm really curious of how this summer is gonna turn out for you guys. So maybe save this video, and then at the end of summer, come back and tell us like what happened, because I'm so curious. Okay, I am so curious. And have a blessed end of have a blessed rest of June, and have a wonderful, adventurous, and beautiful summer. And then see you guys later. Bye.